Coming up next, how a new state mandate is affecting bars and restaurants in downtown State College.
Plus, being an expecting mom is hard enough. There are now new challenges for pregnant women in the COVID-19 era.
And what the pandemic means for local pet adoptions.
We laugh because often the animal chooses them.
The Centre County Report starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Rachel Velez. Thanks for joining us for the Centre County Report.
And I'm Joe Skinner. Our top story, a new COVID testing site is up and running in Centre County after the State Department of Health sent resources here to help contain rising case numbers. Reporters.
Hi, Joe. I'm here live at the Nittany Mall where a new COVID testing site just popped up. It's one of several around the state that the Department of Health announced. An employee told us since 6 a.m. they've tested 70 people. As many as 500 people per day can be tested here. It's open today and tomorrow, and then again next Tuesday through Saturday. Anyone can get tested here even if you don't have symptoms. You don't need an appointment, but you'll need to show a photo ID or insurance card, and you can register on site. The test can get sent to a lab in Pittsburgh where they will be analyzed and results are returned in 24 to 48 hours. Since the beginning of September, Centre County has seen 1,500 new COVID cases, which is over twice the amount of cases they saw from March to August. Live at the Nittany Mall, I'm Summer Thomas for the Centre County Report. Back to you in the studio.
And we have breaking news now. The new COVID numbers for Centre County have just been released. We've added 29 new positive cases to yesterday's total. There are now 2,231 total cases to date in Centre County since March. Also, State College School District plans to return to in-person learning next week.
The coronavirus outbreak is having a major impact on bars and restaurants, especially in downtown State College. And new state rules are making things even tougher for business owners. Josh Starr has more.
When bars reopened over the summer, they were just happy to see customers walking through the doors again. But summer is typically slow in State College. With the normally busy fall now here, the financial impact is hitting harder.
Huge losses now that the students are back with the limitations and then the fact that just our townspeople aren't ready to quite integrate and mix with the students yet. We have nights that were down as much as 90%. So we're talking really big figures.
Curtis Schulman says those figures for Pickles are even before the governor's new restrictions that began this week.
Under the new state rules for bars and restaurants, you can't order a drink after 11 p.m. That means once midnight rolls around, these guys have to be empty.
Schulman expects even more losses because of the 11 p.m. cutoff time.
With the cutoff change, we're going to have to see what this week brings. It's kind of too early to tell because this is the first week we're experiencing it. I would think that from a revenue standpoint, though, 20 to 30% loss is going to be pretty conservative. It could be more than that.
To make up for lost revenue, Pickles is even offering to-go drinks. Many college students are still going to the bars in person, though. Stephen Williams says bars are best after 11.
That's when most of the people start coming. It gets rowdier. The music starts to get louder, and it's just a whole different ball game from there. So it's fun. It's a great time.
Even with the state's restrictions, both customers and bars are trying to find ways to make it work during uncertain times. In State College, I'm Josh Starr for the Centre County Report.
On top of the major loss in revenue, Hotel State College has had to drop its payroll employees from more than 250 to just over 50 people.
Scientists in our area say there may be a simple way to know whether a COVID-19 outbreak is on the horizon. Christopher Hess explains.
State College has been one of the fastest growing virus hotspots in the nation in recent weeks, due in part to thousands of college students returning to town for the fall. But scientists hope something as simple as wastewater might help give an early warning about the spread of COVID. Samples around State College, like the wastewater here at University Area Joint Authority, have the potential to be a telltale sign if a COVID outbreak is coming. Research has shown people who have contracted COVID-19 shed the virus in feces. Water treatment facilities like the one behind me will be playing an intricate role in discovering new data throughout the region. However, as the pandemic continues, there are still plenty of unknowns about the amounts of viral load in wastewater correlating to confirmed COVID-19 cases and what the timetable could be from indicating the infected water to an outbreak occurring. The director of Penn State's Huck Institutes of the Life Sciences says looking into wastewater was a logical place to start.
There were reports from around the country and the world that wastewater was a useful way to detect virus. And at that point, there weren't too many alternatives apart from testing very large numbers of people.
Andrew Reed also says other cities also had success with this approach.
We're pretty influenced by the study coming out of New Haven that when they had outbreaks in earlier in the summer there, that the wastewater data tracked the human data very well. So I think that particular study was very influential on us.
With the virus still lurking in our area, data like this may help scientists try to stay one step ahead of the threat. In State College, I'm Christopher Hess for the Center County Report.
Wastewater samples have been pulled in and studied around the State College community as research continues.
Pennsylvania has a new tool in its fight against the virus, a phone app. The COVID Alert PA app uses smartphone technology to notify people who may have been exposed, but it doesn't identify users' names or other personal information. The app may also be compatible with those of neighboring states.
The risk of getting COVID-19 has been tough on many people, especially for women who are expecting a child. Reporter Kennedy Miller has that story.
Stanback is expecting her second child. She's due in December and says she's facing more challenges in this pregnancy than ever before.
The biggest challenge would be family gatherings because you're taking a risk not knowing if everyone's COVID-free.
And health officials agree. The Department of Health says expecting moms should limit exposure to large groups of people as much as possible. Stanback also describes the challenges she's faced while caring for her toddler son during the pandemic.
It is challenging just because you can't rely on outside sources for fun for your kid because you risk them getting sick or you both getting sick, really.
Although there is no way to ensure that you have a zero risk of infection, it is crucial for pregnant women to understand the importance of being safe and cautious during this difficult time. Registered nurse Brittany Boyle shares with us some advice.
Keep your distance from people and still taking your own hand sanitizers, antibacterial wipes, wipe cart handles. Basically, you're making a human inside you. You can do anything.
The old saying, enjoy the little things in life because one day you'll look back and realize they were the big things. May be more relevant than ever. Stanback has made it a priority to remain socially distanced and embraces the time she has at home with her family. In Harrisburg, I'm Kennedy Miller with the Center County Report.
Nurse Brittany Boyle says it's crucial for pregnant women to sanitize frequently and minimize the items they touch when in a public setting.
It's been a warm week here in Central PA. Will the nice weather last throughout the weekend? We check the 7-day forecast next. Also coming up, lanternflies are spreading in Pennsylvania, and Penn State researchers are trying to find new ways to stop the bugs from costing the state millions. We're back after the break.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Today, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg became the first woman ever to lie in state at the U.S. Capitol. She died last Friday. Replacing her on the court has become a bitter political fight. Jeremy Gaines reports.
The passing of the Honorable Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a famous women's rights advocate and Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, has left an open seat on the highest court in the nation. However, Election Day looms on November 3rd, raising political tensions around a potential replacement. Penn State professor of law Judd Matthews says the president's powers to appoint a judge to succeed her are clearly laid out in the Constitution.
So the basic process set out by the Constitution is the president nominates someone, the Senate considers the nomination, and votes whether to approve that person.
In U.S. history, there have been 29 occasions where a Supreme Court seat was vacant in an election year. The Senate has consistently proceeded with votes to confirm the nominees of past presidents in such situations. Senate Republicans like leader Mitch McConnell have committed to holding a vote on President Trump's choice for the court, but top Democrats such as House Majority Leader Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer questioned the timing of a vote so close to Election Day. Although the Constitution clearly states the president can fill the empty seat on the Supreme Court's bench, it is much less clear whether or not the Senate should in fact confirm that nominee less than 40 days from an election. Professor Matthews described the judge appointment procedure as a multi-month endeavor, wherein the Senate must research and evaluate the legal record of a nominee in question. With so little time left before the election, the appointal process might be truncated when compared to most years.
It is a pretty tight timeline. We have less than 2 months before Election Day. Again, normally from start to finish, nomination to vote, it generally takes longer than that.
Professor Matthews says that in order to perform its constitutional duties responsibly, the Senate needs to deliberate at a pace it normally would when considering a nominee. In University Park, I'm Jeremy Gaines for the Center County Report.
Ginsburg will be buried in a private service next week at Arlington National Cemetery.
Researchers hope birds may be a new weapon in the fight against the spotted lanternfly. The bug has spread to 26 Pennsylvania counties and could cost the state economy hundreds of millions of dollars if it is not contained. Now, Penn State scientists are studying whether birds can feed on the lanternfly and become a new predator to help get rid of it. A field study is planned this fall at Shavers Creek, the Arboretum, and Millbrook Marsh.
A drought watch has been issued in Center County and other parts of central PA. State College is having the 6th driest September on record, with just over a half an inch of rain so far. Residents are asked to voluntarily cut back on their water use by 5%. Officials recommend fixing leaky faucets, minimize running sink water, taking shorter showers, and only doing full loads of laundry or dishes.
It's a beautiful and sunny afternoon out there as you take a live look outside at Beaver Stadium. Once again, another mild day out there today as we see one last push of summer. Temperature right now at 73 degrees, so quite a mild start to the day. Temperatures across the rest of the Commonwealth around that 70-degree mark, into the middle 70s across parts of northern Pennsylvania, 74 right now over in Scranton. But the radar and satellite shows clear skies across the state right now. A good day to do any outdoor activities that you do have planned with those sunny skies in place. Just a few clouds off in southeastern Pennsylvania associated with this area of moisture off to our south. This storm system will be passing to the south of us and not bringing any rain to our area over the next couple of days, unfortunately, for Pennsylvania, because as you see on this drought monitor graphic, severe drought conditions in this orange color for parts of central Pennsylvania. So we do need the rain, and we won't get it until at least the middle of next week. Time this out hour by hour for you with Futurecast. You see clear skies in place throughout the evening hours tonight. A few clouds build into our area tomorrow morning as some of the moisture down to our south passes to the east of us. A few showers possible in eastern Pennsylvania tomorrow morning, but we stay dry tomorrow. A good weekend to do any outdoor activities that you do have planned because it's going to be a very sunny and mild weekend. As I mentioned, one last push of summer before we see some more fall-like temperatures come into our area for next week. Now, moving into the middle of next week, that's when a storm system approaches us from the west, and we could see some rain move into our area for Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Some timing details still need to be ironed out for the forecast for next week. So today, warming up to a high of 79 degrees, around 10 degrees above average, so quite a mild day with those mostly sunny skies in place. Tonight, we'll drop down to a low of 54 degrees with mostly clear skies. And then tomorrow, another mild day with a high of around 75 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. And as I mentioned, that cooler air really settles into the eastern part of the country for the middle and end of next week. High confidence in below average temperatures. And we can see this on our 7-day forecast. As you see, mild temperatures for this weekend with those dry conditions, but then temperatures fall back into the 70s and then eventually into the mid to low 60s by the time we get into the middle of next week with a few of those shower chances Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're going to send it over to David with sports coming up next.
Jacob, only one Center County high school football team will be in action this weekend. We have the latest on those cancellations next in sports. Also coming up, why aren't there more minorities on Pennsylvania coaching staffs? We take a closer look at the issue and the numbers.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans. Because love has no labels.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first, don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
I'm David Adar with sports. The ongoing coronavirus threat is again affecting local high school football. Tonight's Bald Eagle Penns Valley game is off because the Rams are in quarantine. Reporter Joe Skinner spoke with the two coaches about this unusual season.
It was the last news that Bald Eagle area head coach Jesse Nagel wanted to hear.
It's very frustrating. It's definitely discouraging. You know, kids work so hard.
After the Penns Valley football team went into quarantine because of potential exposure to COVID-19, it was only a matter of time until the official announcement that Bald Eagles game against the Rams would be rescheduled for October. The Rams coach says it's easy to get frustrated at the circumstances.
I try to impress upon our players that they can only control themselves. We don't have control over others or other people's decisions.
Despite no positive COVID tests, Nagel still wants his Eagles to take the field soon.
Really unfortunate for these kids because at this point we don't have anything here, so we want to play football.
It's been a slow start to the fall for some of Center County's top teams as they try and balance the COVID-19 pandemic with a high school football season. But despite some of these postponements, some area coaches still believe the best way to move forward is to play.
Yes, there may be situations like ours or other situations that may come up that may prevent teams from playing, but I feel that the positives by far and away outweigh the negatives.
In Penns Valley, I'm Joe Skinner for the Center County Report.
Also, the State College Central Dauphin game, originally set for tonight, is pushed until next week because State High is still in a remote learning situation, which means no contact sports. This week, a federal judge ruled some of Governor Wolf's COVID-19 restrictions unconstitutional, including his ban on crowds over 25 for indoor gatherings and 250 for outdoor events. With the ruling, some local high schools are making changes for tonight's football games. Phillipsburg Osceola takes the field tonight. They'll fill their stadium to 25% capacity. Players, cheerleaders, and band members each get 3 game tickets. And Altoona will allow up to 3,400 spectators, or 33% capacity, for its game against Cumberland Valley. Both schools are requiring fans to wear masks. As the nation has focused on more diversity and inclusion recently, one area of interest in sports is sports and the lack of minority coaches in many places. Ariel Simpson takes a look at the issue in Pennsylvania schools.
It's been 17 years since the NFL adopted what became known as the Rooney Rule. NFL teams must interview at least one minority candidate for head coaching and senior positions. But here in 2020, there are still only 4 minority head coaches in the 32-team league. The league itself has 58.9% African Americans and 70.1% non-white players, but there are only 12.5% of minority head coaches in the league today.
While this lack of minority coaching representation can be seen on the professional and college levels, we can also see this within our local high school divisions.
In the Mid-Penn Commonwealth Division, only 2 of 8 head coaches are minority. One of them is Aaron Blanding, Central Dauphin East head coach for the past 8 years.
And I think for so long, people have been afraid to talk about it. And I think now, on both sides, people are expressing themselves more, and you start to get more of a true sense of what people believe. And I think it goes way beyond sport.
This lack of minority representation is apparent not just at the head coaching level. I sat down with former Penn State wide receiver and team captain Joe Nastasi. He's now the wide receiver coach at State College High. Nastasi says it's important to have different backgrounds involved in coaching, especially at the high school level.
From how those kids have an opportunity to come in here and see every coach that looks like them, thinks like them. If they have a problem, they got somebody on staff or someone right there that can relate exactly. Okay, we just tend to gravitate to people that we can relate to.
Nastasi has a deep football background from his time at Penn State to the NFL to now high school coaching. He believes it's time for more change.
Real change and realistically making a movement comes financially. It comes from doing the things that are required and taking the action as opposed to just holding up the signs.
He admits that may be harder to control on the high school level.
Your hiring pool is much smaller, and not everybody wants to do it. Not everybody has the time, not everybody has the right interest, not everybody has the knowledge to do it.
With the announcement of the new Collegiate Coaching Diversity Pledge this past week, many hope it's the next step toward equal representation in sports. I'm Ariel Simpson for the Center County Report.
57 games down, 3 to go. Entering the final weekend of the MLB regular season, the Phillies find themselves on the edge of the National League playoff race. Philadelphia is one of 4 teams still fighting for a playoff spot, a half game behind San Francisco for the 8th seed. The Phils end their shortened season with a 3-game series in Tampa against the Rays. First pitch tonight is at 6:40, and Vince Velasquez will be on the mound. That's all for sports. Now back to you at the anchor desk.
Thanks, David. Coming up next, we visit with some of our furry friends and take a look at how the community has been supporting a local pet adoption center during the pandemic.
taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
For many people, their pets are what keep them positive during this challenging coronavirus year. But how is COVID affecting places that match pets with people? DJ Bauer takes a look.
They say a dog is a man's best friend. But in these troubling times where isolation and loneliness are common, any pet can be the perfect new companion.
We laugh because often the animal chooses them. So they'll come in to look at, oh, I want to see that black cat. And then they go into a cat room and a kitty will walk up to them, purr, jump on their laps. And the next thing you know, they're applying to adopt.
Christine Faust helps run Center County Paws, a non-euthanasia pet adoption center in State College. Its mission is to find new homes for as many cats and dogs as possible. Initially, the pandemic hit Paws hard. It lost nearly $10,000 in revenue, as all adoptions were closed until June. But that didn't stop an overwhelming amount of fostering support from the community.
At the beginning of the pandemic, 90% of our animals were placed into foster homes. We were very, very grateful that Center County's members just reached out and said, how can we help?
And Christine says that, on average, the animals here at Center County Paws are usually only here for a couple of weeks. So it won't be long until cats here like Nacho are able to find a loving home. Center County Paws is always looking for community involvement. In fact, one of its big fall fundraisers, the Fur Ball, is set for October 9th. This usually in-person get-together will be going virtual for the first time.
I think one of the interesting things about doing it virtually is our target audience now is just so much greater than it was. People aren't spending $150 to come to dinner, but they are getting online. Anyone can do it. It's completely free. But if you want to make a donation or purchase or watch it, you do have to register.
If the COVID-19 pandemic has you feeling alone, maybe it's time to meet a new furry friend. In State College, I'm DJ Bauer for the Center County Report.
Paws is open this weekend from 11 to 4.
That's all for today's newscast. You can find more of our stories on our website, centercountyreport.com. Our next newscast is on Tuesday. You can follow us anytime for breaking news on Twitter. That's at Center County REP, or on our Facebook page. We also have a Center County Report Instagram. Have a good weekend.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Your daughter is having trouble learning French. Do you A, hire a tutor?
Bonjour.
B, enforce a French-only rule at home? Or C, watch some foreign films? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.